What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking all about Cosmetics, the entire brand. I've tried almost everything in their line and I have most of it on hand. We're gonna go through the website and do what I always do in these kinds of brand reviews and tell you guys what I think is worth it and what is not. And if something isn't worth it to me, you know, I'll tell you why, maybe recommend something else. A lot of times it's personal, but I did also put on a full face of Cosmetics today. Some of my favorite products, basically. Tried to smash as much of it into this look as I possibly could all at once, and I will be inserting the footage to hopefully add a little bit of detail to my descriptions if possible. I will swatch when I think is necessary, but basically we're just gonna go top to bottom, and if you've been looking at that Cosmetics website just going cross-eyed, being like, what should I try first? Hopefully this will help to demystify that, so let's go ahead and jump in. So if you are unfamiliar with Cosmetics, it is the makeup brand by Michelle Phan. Michelle Phan is one of the first ever beauty YouTubers, and she basically created this amazing legacy on the platform and paved the way for people like me to have jobs like this. And for that I am so grateful, but she has really turned all of her taste and acumen and experience and used it to inform what I think are some of the most unique products out there. So jumping right in, we are going to talk first about, because I'm just going in order of what's on the website, her So Soft Multi Faceplate. So this is actually brand new and it's a bronzer. It's $30 US and I have mine in the shade Summer. So you'll see me putting that on. And Summer is described as a toasted caramel with warm undertones for fair to tan skin. It's a modern lightweight formula that can be used for bronzing or contouring to achieve your desired look. I found this to be too warm to use as a contour. I did go in with another contour after the fact. But this being the newest in my collection from Cosmetics, they did just send me these. Oh my gosh, you guys, for all of the criticism that I had of the Victoria Beckham blush sticks being kind of a little less pigmented, a little bit harder to spread out on the skin, and a little bit like small and stiff. These are so unbelievably creamy, like in the most easy to work with way. They're very, very agreeable. It's not kind of like splotchy or, you know, runny or weird and balmy or anything like that. It is so ultra creamy, goes on the skin with absolutely no tug, but it's not like super silicone-y feeling either. The way that I kind of noticed the difference was that usually with something that is really silicone-y or really stiff, you have to drag it on your face in order to get the product to go onto your skin. This, you can literally tap it and it's creamy enough that it still stamps onto your skin and then you can spread it out, or you can just, you know, put it on a tool and apply it that way. But I found this to be so agreeable and just super user-friendly, super beginner-friendly because of just that exceptional creaminess. You know, when I say creamy, I know I keep repeating the same word. It's not super emollient. It's just really movable in a fantastic way. And then it dries down, and I powdered it and the powder didn't like get all gummy either. It's actually very lightweight because it does have so much pigment to it. I would compare it most closely probably to the Makeup by Mario because his are super creamy too, but I do feel like this dries down more than that. Now with this also came out a series of these blush sticks. So Soft Blush. Today I used the shades Lychee and Venetian Rose. This is the same or similar enough of a formula where you get that really great color payoff. You also get exceptional creaminess that spreads super easily. And I found that for all of those things, you know, you would expect it to pick up also really easily. And it doesn't. Just really exceptional. And you know, we were talking about $42. I hate to sit here and bag on the Victoria Beckham blushes, but I mean, you know, they kind of set themselves up for criticism when you charge what someone called an audacious amount of money for them, the $42 price tag on that for, what was it, 5 grams of product? And this is 8 grams of product for $30. So that is pretty darn generous. Her prices are not low, but her packaging is gorgeous and her formulas are exceptional, and you usually get an abundance of product. So that's the case with these. This comes in 6 shades They're ultra, ultra gorgeous. I love that she decided to put a Venetian rose in this one because Venetian rose is my favorite colorway in the entire collection. It's just this beautiful, nuanced, kind of like cool, leaning purple, pink, mauve kind of color. And it's just wonderful. All the colorways of it are so beautiful. She has released collections over time that are kind of these capsules of different colors. The Faded Clementine. There was Magic Hour, which was more of like a coral peach kind of collection. And so a lot of her stuff really intuitively goes together if that's the look you're going for. So yeah, great value. Just hits all of the marks that I felt like were not accomplished by the Victoria Beckham ones. And it's like a similar delivery system to the Thrive ones that I like, but just so much softer. They're so soft. They're called So Soft Blush. They're super soft. I'm gonna stop. Okay, moving on. I don't have the Moonbeam Cushion Highlighter. That is one that I don't know how I missed it, but I don't have it on hand. I do not have an opinion on it, and I am sorry. It will be one of the very few products that I don't know anything about in her line. The next thing are the Heaven's Glow Radiant Veil Blushes. So that comes in Venetian Rose, Magic Hour, and Faded Clementine. I do have all three. I've kind of collected them over time. And the only criticism that I have of these is that they are shimmery, and there's not a lot of getting around the shimmeriness of them. And if you are a blush wearer the way that I am, you like to kind of pile it on, you're gonna end up with a lot of shimmer on your cheeks. It's not just the iridescence that might happen when you have just a really beautiful creamy spreadable formula with that kind of mineral reflection. It has a shift to it, you know, in the light. And so I like to use it as just a blush topper. Today I did use Venetian Rose, and it doesn't have so much that it's like a highlight. It doesn't like, you know, throw off the proportions of your face or something. And I do find that it does add like a nice blurred quality on top of the cream cheeks, but I wouldn't necessarily use them alone. That is just a personal thing though. I've seen plenty of people get away with it. Just be aware, you know, if you're going into it thinking that these are just gonna be normal powder blushes and you're gonna be able to watercolor them, if you have texture and you're self-conscious about that being accentuated, they're probably going to accentuate texture on your cheeks. Things like that, I personally only want to do a little kiss of them. So those are $34, and you also get 8 grams of those. And they are, I mean, they're huge, and they come in this really, I personally love this packaging. It's really easy to find in my collection. It's hunky chunky, but it's also a ton of product. It's just got this, I don't know, there's something really like accessible, luxurious about it, you know, right in the middle. Face Cuddle Moisture Balm. I skipped that one too, just because I don't really know. I don't know. I guess just because it seemed like a clear balm to me. I've heard good things, but I know nothing about it. Talking about the Daydream Cushion Tinted SPF. I wore this today. So I have had this for a while now. This is, again, the Daydream Cushion. I have the shade Fair. $48, it comes with 2 cushions. 0.42 ounces, and you get 2 of those. So it's 84% of a full ounce, 0.84 ounces basically total, I want to say. 6 shades, super sheer, kind of follows the, you know, K-Beauty cushion kind of format. I do find that you can build this and get some coverage from it, and it doesn't stay like super, super dewy. It does have that really nice intelligence built into it that you do tend to get from other like K-Beauty cushion foundations. And I know that 6 shades is like not great, and I don't want to make excuses for that, but if you go on like Yes Style or something, you're gonna get like 2 shades in a cushion foundation, and good luck, you know, because K-Beauty, they sort of want to shoehorn everybody into like a couple of skin tones. This at least has more than that. I don't find myself reaching for this all that often, mainly because I like to feature foundations on my channel that has something for everybody, and I don't personally know whether 6 shades is going to meet the needs of that many people as sheer as this formula is. I have a freaking hair stuck to my nose. Oh my God, like you can't even think when that's happening. These sunscreens in this are avobenzone, homosalate, octisalate, and titanium dioxide. So it is both chemical and physical sunscreen. I like the finish of it. I like that it's not super, super like creamy dewy, and it cooperates well with like powder. So I have really liked the formula, but I don't really talk about it that much because lightweight formulas like this are so easy to compare to other things that, you know, it's like I'm gonna talk about the Chantecaille, or I'm gonna talk about Tower 28, or I'll talk about, you know, other products that have a similar finish and also have like SPF in them, or some don't, but that might have wider shade ranges. That's all. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about these Color Drops Serum Blushes. I have a ton of these. I've either bought them or they were sent to me. This used to be her only non-powder blush formula before all these So Soft. I'm gonna remember that name really easily now because they are. These aren't my favorite. They come in glass, which is gorgeous, and it's just a very original delivery system. You know, it's got this little eyedropper that doesn't really work. It never really fills up because it's like it traps air. It's really hard to get the product out, in my opinion. But these went so viral initially because this was very much a look that we were all going for at a certain point. It's kind of like talking about the Kosas, the cream blushes. I was like, these are super, super emollient. They're too emollient for my taste now. But in their defense, this was a look that was what we wanted at the time. And I like I said, that she's iterating and growing with her audience. She understands that this is not really a texture that a lot of people want to tolerate on their skin anymore because it is sticky and it's not very long wearing. Out of all of her formulas, I find this one to be probably the least technological, because it doesn't dry down at all. It just stays kind of like a liquid oil. And by the time I can spread this out and get it to stay put well enough that it doesn't just feel unfinished on my face, I can barely see it. And that's just not my style of doing blush. It really is so much just like a tinted, dewy oil blush. It just never really computed for me. It doesn't have enough pigment to it to work the way that the Kosas does, where I can kind of put up with it because their colors are so beautiful and uncommon. And these colors are beautiful and uncommon, and she does have a whole lot of them. But for all the people who I have seen really rave about the finish of these and how they love how it looks on their skin, I want more color than that for that amount of dewiness and that amount of just honestly like noticeable stickiness on my face. And these just never did it for me. They're $25 a piece. They come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shades. And again, super, super beautiful colors, but I am personally glad that the brand has started to move past these. I just found them to be really disagreeable to my routine. All right. Let's move into the eyes category. We will go ahead and start with the new release, which is her Cosmic Pearl eyeshadows. They come in single pans in their own beautiful little lucite compact like this, very secure. They are, I want to see what they describe this texture as. This shade right here is called Venus. I have Venus, Star Child, Luna, and I have one other one kicking around somewhere. Super unique texture on these. This otherworldly metallic stardust eyeshadow imparts shimmer in a unique, ultra creamy and buildable powder. That was why I wanted to hear the way that they describe it, is because I don't know whether this is meant to be a cream or a powder. Typically when we buy these single pan one and done eyeshadows, you know, like the Illamasqua, you're like, I understand this is a powder, but I still want to describe it as creamy. And this is probably the formula that comes the closest to the M Cosmetics one that's in my collection. Just, you know, going off of, you know, memory. But it's still very distinctly a powder. This is a true hybrid. It is just the wackiest, awesomest, kind of like putty consistency. And let me make sure we're in focus before I do this, because the payoff is insane. Watch this. That's just one little swatch of Venus, and they're incredibly buildable. Just like super, super, super buildable. I right now have Star Child, I think, on my eyes a little bit. Look at Star Child. It has this really, really beautiful slight kind of orange copper shift to it, but it's definitely like a magenta pink. So, so pretty. I'll go ahead and swatch Luna as well. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I also have Moonrise. And Moonrise is the other one that I have kind of on my inner corner, and I spread this out to get a softer, just a sheen, you know, but the impact you can get from these. I just growled about it. I sound like Roy Kent. Yeah, so that is, what did I say, Moonrise? And then we have Luna. Luna is kind of green, which is pretty interesting. It's like a silver taupe green. And ignore the little pink part, I had something else on my finger, but it's super wearable still. But it does come off really, really silvery on the eyes. So, I mean, it's gonna give you kind of an intergalactic Y2K look, more so than the other ones that I have that are kind of, you know, in my more comfort zone pink colors. $26 a piece. I can't recommend them highly enough if that is your texture. If you love an all over the eye, steal the show, main character energy, cream, glitter, powder, just a luscious formula, then these are absolutely for you. I did try to do an entire look with this on my eyes as a 34-and-a-half-year-old woman. I don't think it suited me in my socket, in my crease. I don't really want that to be really shimmery. I feel like it distorts the shape of my eye and kind of accentuates sometimes things that I don't really want to accentuate, texture and stuff like that. And so I found these to be ideal for me and the look that I'm going for as toppers. And they're not glitter toppers. They're not going to go translucent and just add a texture. They are very, very much pigmented. Like they're a very, very solid pigment when you put it on your eyes and it's gonna foil. And they were a little bit hard to work on top of. That was the only other thing. They had this amazing, out of this world, like I said, hybrid texture to them. But if you're going to combine them with something else, I would suggest doing them last. An eyeliner, sure, whatever. But if you're trying to like put eyeshadow on top of them, like a powder eyeshadow, it just doesn't really want to stick all that well. They have a really like slippy thing to them, and that slippy thing just makes things not really stick on top of them. So that was just kind of the learning curve that I came across. But again, the main thing that I think these things lend themselves to is like stick your finger in it, smear it on your eyeball. It's kind of like a Rowan shadow in that sense where it's just really freaking satisfying. And I don't find them to crease like instantaneously or really much at all. Third ingredient is dimethicone. That is going to really keep it from creasing very much. That's just something, you know, that silicone just really helps it be really stable and lightweight on the skin. And for that reason, you know, it's going to behave a little bit more like a Thrive Brilliant eye brightener, but just with like 100 times more impact. All right, let's talk about these Divine Skies eyeshadow palettes. I have all of them. Divine Skies comes in Magic Hour, Faded Clementine, and their newest Venetian Rose. So Magic Hour was that just really right down the middle of safe pink and brown, right? Once you've gotten really cynical because you've just seen a parade of makeup for the last however many years, this is a very like tart color palette to you, you know? You're just like, yep, pink and brown. That's a really good way to get people to buy your stuff. The thing that really set this apart for me was as soon as you dip into these formulas, you just see that they're different. Like the iridescent shades are super, super creamy, a little bit remind me of the Cosmic Pearl. See, they also have this beautiful foil payoff, but its identity is powder. It's not going for hybrid. So they're super, super satisfying, rewarding. You get all that payoff right on the lids and they're very, very long wearing. There is something really beautifully emollient even about the matte formulas in these palettes, and they are super flexible in their buildability. You can wear them very sheer, the mattes especially, but you can also build them up to like massive saturation. And I will say, like, I did have the initial criticism of this one. I was like, this does not work for everybody. This is for like, you know, fair and medium skin tones. It's not going to show up on a lot of people. And even if it does, if your skin tone's darker than that, it's not going to provide a shadow on your skin. The next one that she came out with was a version of the Divine Skies in Faded Clementine. It is super, super like richly pigmented, very beautifully deep. These shades are just the same gorgeous, creamy texture. And when I say that there is a beauty in something not being for you because it's so specifically for someone else, this is what I'm talking about. I tried this and it did not look bad on me, but it wasn't my look. I don't wear orange very well. I can definitely wear the purples in here. They're super, super pretty, but they are so saturated. And that is such good news for a lot of people because there really aren't a lot of eyeshadow palettes in this colorway. You know what I mean? Like, not only is it orange and purple, which don't seem like they should go together, but the purple actually shifts orange. And the orange shifts kind of pink. They all go together really beautifully in a way that you would never expect. And then I think just by popular demand, because we're all obsessed with the Venetian Rose colorway. I mean, not all of us, but the ones who are obsessed. She came out with a Venetian Rose of the Divine Skies. Of course, this one's my favorite. This is the one that I used today. These tones are just so excellent. So this is Venetian Rose next to Magic Hour, and those browns look pretty darn similar. And you can see that Venetian Rose is a little bit more richly pigmented, and it does lean that beautiful purple mauve thing I was talking about. So I love this formula. It's so ultra gorgeous. The colorways commit. That would be the only thing that keeps me from reaching for these like more often, is just that you're either going for this look or you're not. And I don't really feel like there are a ton of temperatures in each of these palettes. So when you look at Venetian Rose, while, yeah, you managed to pack 6 shadows, you know, an abundance of product in this very concise little package, I'm either playing with these colors that day or I'm not. I'm not going to be able to make something that is very different one day to the next, just by playing with cool and warm in here, because they're all kind of central neutral, but it also makes for very beginner friendly color stories, because you're not gonna accidentally put a cool tone on your lid or your whatever. You know what I mean? You're not gonna accidentally just like paint yourself into a corner, because they're so intuitively curated. They're very beginner friendly, and they're very beautiful for what they are. You just don't see them on my channel that much, because I feel like, you know, you've kind of done it once you've done it. So yeah, the Divine Skies palettes are $40. I think that's a pretty good price for the amount of product that you're getting. The Illustrative eyeliner is a liquid eyeliner. I have had the black and the brown in this. It comes in a regular tip, and then they also have a felt tip. These are really lovely, beautiful, long-wearing liquid eyeliners. Am I a liquid eyeliner girl? No, I am not. Because my skills in that area are not exquisite. I find that incredibly frustrating. But also, even if I were to make the perfect liquid eyeliner line on my eyes, I still don't really like the way that it looks. I don't love really graphic lines around my eyes. I need blur, I need illusion, I need smoke and mirrors and shadow. I have a very angular face. I'm trying to soften it. So they are beautiful liquid eyeliners if you're a liquid eyeliner person. I just happen to not be a liquid eyeliner person, and those are $21. All right, and then finally in the eye category, we have the Pick Me Up Volume Plus Length Mascara. I am wearing this today. This is her tubing mascara. It's her only mascara, but it's a tubing formula. This is the tubing mascara for people who are okay sacrificing hunky chunky volume in favor of keeping the curl in their lashes. It's very lightweight, super lengthening. I find it very difficult to get the volume at the roots that I like. So my eyelashes are very long today, but they're like a comb, you know? It doesn't look kind of like this really nice close together, fluttery, false lash look almost, which is kind of what I'm going for. I like something that does look more dense. It makes my eyelashes look more dense. This is going to lift and separate and lengthen, but it's so hard to get a ton of volume from it. But that said, and the same thing that I said in my best and worst tubing mascaras video, this is definitely for somebody. This has a customer, and it just isn't me, and that's fine, but it functions beautifully as a tubing mascara, and it functions beautifully for people who find other tubing mascara formulas to be too heavy. So this one is $24. Let's talk about her brows real quick, because there are only a few products, but man, when I first started reviewing Cosmetics on my channel and I neglected to try her brow products, the comments, nobody was mad. They were just like, what are you doing? Like, you missed out on her best stuff. Her brow products are incredible. I think they're like especially incredible for people who have sparse brows, because they stay put and they're really easy to control. They're very detailed. So I have the Flexibrow Clear Brow Gel. I don't know where it is. It's It's great. It's fine. They both have like kind of a medium hold to them, but it does have some shine to it, which is really nice. Sometimes I like to have the option to, you know, give it some shine, and that one is $20. The things that I did use today, I used the brow cream, which is this little guy right here. I have this in the shade Blonde, and I could have probably gone a shade darker. Look how freaking cute and tiny that little, ew, khaki, that little tiny brush is. It's so easy to control. It's a little bit flexible just because the wand is as long as it is, but it's still very obedient. There's also, you can see like little fibers in there, so it's going to build structure on your brows. It's a great little formula. It really, really is. And it's matte. You know, it kind of reminds me of boy brow in that sense. That's what I have right now. And again, like I said, I do think that they're a little bit light compared to my hair. I typically go for something a little bit darker, but I just wanted you guys to see what that looked like today. And to be fair, I think when I first got these, I was blonde. So it makes sense. But this is the Fine Line Brow Pencil in Light Taupe. I love this teeny tiny little pencil. And I also love that it's a little bit dash shaped, but it's still very, very small. I love the stiffness of this. You can feel kind of a hardness and a resistance. It draws very believable hair-like lines. It doesn't melt on contact with the skin. Basically, I think that that's the best way to describe it. Because a lot of them, it doesn't matter how tiny the pencil is because they go kind of soft, waxy crayon when they touch your skin, the warmth of your skin, and then you don't really have lines anymore. So for people who really do need to draw in believable brow hairs, you can't just fudge it like me, this is gonna be an exceptionally cooperative brow pencil. And that comes in 5 shades. Oh, let us get into my favorite category. You probably thought that I liked the eyes the most, but for everybody who said that the brows were her like marquee products, I would beg to differ. They're great, but her lip products are out of control. They are so excellent. So I did use one of her lip liners today. Her lip liner is $19 and it comes in 6 shades. I used Kitten. It's kind of a pinky brown. And then I also have one called Teddy, I believe. Yes, and it is more like, almost like my khaki lip liner, but just a touch peacher. Those are $19 and they have a really, really beautiful soft texture to them. They're not quite as soft as the Thrive ones, but Thrive is also one of the softest lip liner formulas that I own. And these are in very, very nuanced shades. They're almost all in kind of like pinky browny nude colors that are going to, you know, find a way of complementing your skin tone more so than the lip color that you chose to wear. Next, we have the Lip Cushion Nourishing Balm in Clear Quartz. I don't have this. I want this because I want to say almost all of the Lip Cushion Tinted Lip Luminizers, which are the pigmented version of this formula, but I don't have the clear one. Wow, let's talk about this. So I have it here, several of these. This is the Lip Cushion Tinted Luminizer in Venetian Rose. I'm not wearing this today because I feel like you guys have seen it so many times, but this is such a wacky formula because it almost doesn't belong in this delivery system. It is almost a lip gloss, because it's so balmy. Like if you were to crank this all the way up, it would like break off, which is why I'm glad that they chose to do it in this click up format, because you don't get in and over your head the way that you would with like the Rowan lip balms, where like you crank that thing up and it just like cracks off every single time. They should warn you, you know, just don't roll it up hardly at all. But just, oh, I love a stay put. And by stay put, I just mean like in the warmth of your skin, it's not gonna drool all over the place. It's not like long, you know what I mean? It doesn't like dry down or something. Pigmented, beautiful, ultra shiny. Let me put this on for you. Do you see now why people love the Venetian Rose colorway so much? It's just like slightly cool toned, rosy mauve. It's so pretty. It's so pretty, and this formula is just, it's just luscious, okay? It's not my favorite word in the world, but it is a really, really lovely, cushiony formula that's very nourishing on your lips. It actually wears like a balm, which is why I guess after the fact they came out with the clear one. Because it does, it really, really wears like a very nourishing balm all day. It makes your lips healthier. And my goodness, are they pretty. The colors are so freaking pretty. I love this, super comfortable, especially for a girl who does not love a really saturated lip color. So comfortable. Can't say enough about these. They are $22. Comes in 5 shades, including Faded Clementine, Magic Hour, and Venetian Rose, in addition to Angel and Mystic. Okay, Morning Dew Crystal Lip Gloss. That's what I was wearing before I just blotted and put on the Venetian Rose. This is a really great vanilla scented clear lip gloss. Now, her other lip gloss formula really reminds me of like a lot of the liquid lip balms that we talk about, you know, Rowan or Vesca or Fit Glow or whoever. This is not like that. This is just a really beautiful, lightweight clear lip gloss. It's a really good one, you know? It's super, super lightweight, but it still seems to kind of like, you know, fill in the grooves on your lips, and it does give you kind of this bouncy, glassy look without being super syrupy or sticky, but it's not completely unsticky. It does still have a slightly, it's lighter weight even than the Tower 28. I just wanted to kind of clarify in terms of like the weightlessness of them. Not as weightless as a liquid lip balm, but not even as heavy as the Tower 28, and the Tower 28 is by no means heavy. And that is $20. Then we get into the Infinite Lip Cloud. So the Infinite Lip Cloud is one of the only matte lips that I've ever really, really liked, because it, you know what? It reminds me a lot of the Rare Beauty one. In fact, I have the Rare Beauty one. I think she calls it like a lip souffle almost. It has that same kind of texture to it where, actually, the Rare Beauty is gonna have a little more slip to it because it does have a little bit of that liquid lip balm thing. And the way that it dries is just a little bit patchier, I feel like. Whereas the M Cosmetics is very, very agreeable to different like sheernesses. So you can put this on really solidly and get like this beautiful, this color specifically, Rose Nude. This one gives me like a perfect matte 90s lip, you know, but blotted, the pigmentation is so even that you don't end up with patchiness or anything, and it doesn't dry your lips out. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous if a matte lip is your thing. I'll be honest, a matte lip is not really my thing because I want to see the contours of my actual lips, and I want it to look realistic or even exaggerated in the way that the light hits my lips. And matte lips tend to just kind of flatten them out. And that looks good on some people. Honestly, it does. I watch somebody like Zoella, like she rocks a matte lip all day long, and it doesn't really look good on me. So the Infinite Lip Clouds are $20. True Gloss is $20 as well. This is the one that really reminds me of a liquid lip balm. It's got that lovely slip to it, not sticky at all, a great amount of color. This shade is called Mochi Mochi, and it's basically like White Russian from Buxom. You know, it's got that lighter than most people's skin tone kind of color to it. And so when you combine it with like a nude lip liner or something, you end up with this high contrast contoured lip. Beautiful. I still have a little bit of color on my lips, but you'll see. You see that? And it looks really weird and milky at first, but when you have it all over your whole lip, it is almost like adding a highlight to your lips, but you're still gonna see whatever's underneath through it. But it comes in a ton of shades, and I really, really like this formula. I like it a whole lot, and it smells kind of like cake. So that's everything in her collection, and her stuff used to go out of stock all the time. It was really, really hard to get your hands on it sometimes, and so we had to keep an eye on, you know, when they were restocked or released or what have you. Now I feel like she's really gotten her feet under her with the popularity of the brand growing, and you can pretty much get any of this stuff at any time. It's almost always stocked. And she has sets, because this stuff's not, like I said, it's not super expensive, but it's not inexpensive either. And so there are sets where you can get like all of the True Glosses for $75. That's pretty good. So it's worth poking around her website to see, you know, if there are better ways to buy the things that you want. But yeah, like I said, M Cosmetics has just become a really exciting brand for me that I love to keep my eye on, because I love the textures, I love the innovation, and I feel like she does put out hero products, even if it's just in the nuance of a blush being extra creamy, or the nuance of a lip gloss being extra slippy without being sticky kind of thing. I feel like she really gets it. She gets makeup, she gets texture, and she understands, you know, how to grow alongside her customer. So she's definitely keeping me interested. I hope you guys found this valuable. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one.